All right, welcome back guys to the podcast. We got a time. So again, my name's Juan. This is Albert and
Alex.
So to cut to the chase, we've reached the advent where men can find certain fulfillment of rubbing one out with a sex robot. And there's certain groups of ladies that are concerned about that. Wait, whoa. This seems to be going too far.
Should I be worried about sex robots? I don't think that we should be worried that it is going to replace us as women. I think that we should definitely be worried that we're accepting something so wrong, I guess, in such a public light. I'm not talking just about a sex toy here. I'm not talking about, things that can enhance your sex life, such as a vibrator, or things that can actually make your life and sex life a little bit more pleasurable.
How do you guys feel about that?
Whoa, what a way to start. We're getting right in there. How we're talking
Straight up,
about,
man, just no lube.
We're talking about sex robots. All right. Personally, I think it's completely strange.
Robots.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about. I mean, you're married, so you don't really need to have sex with a woman robot.
What a wonder.
But yeah, it's insane. I think their main demographic is like a lot of lonely men out there.
There really is. Yeah.
Or maybe like people that want to experiment. But I'm curious at what the price point is gonna be for like these new sex robots. Not that I'm interested. Not that I'm interested.
Asking for a friend.
I want to make that very clear right away. Yeah, I'm just asking for a friend. Thank you. I appreciate that. So as soon as you know the price points, let me know.
Honestly, my friend who knows.
That friend needs to know, right? The price?
Yeah, my friend needs to know the price. So if it's within his price range, he might just get one.
Speaking of a friend,
Yeah.
Alex, what do you think about this topic?
Well, I think it's just the evolution of the pocket pussy, right? So what's the next thing? We're like, oh, I'm getting tired of this pocket pussy, right? Now I want to fuck a robot, all right?
Yeah.
Don't want to interact with women. Robot. That's the next step after the pocket pussy.
All right. So here, the thing is this: a lot of women they're generally concerned, like, hey, are we becoming obsolete? And in some ways, I think it's a reflection of men either being too afraid and being stuck in technology, or maybe they feel like, hey, getting a woman is so astronomically difficult. I truly don't know. What do you guys feel about that?
At this point in time, I absolutely think the idea that women thinking, that sounds kind of weird, that they are going to become obsolete, that's completely absurd, because we are so far from that. Like, where can you even get a sex robot at this point? You can't, right?
I'm not sure, really. I think they're in production.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I'm trying to say is, like, they're not readily available, and even when things are readily available, it still takes time to develop the market. So at this point, for like women thinking that they're gonna get replaced by robots sexually, it's absurd. I mean, that's the first point. And second of all, as a matter of preference, I mean, I've never tried a sex robot, but I think that an experience with a sex robot will not compare at all to like the real thing. So it's just another method for people who can't get the real thing, myself included. No, I'm just kidding. Speaking for all virgins.
Do you procure your own devices?
Can you elaborate on that?
Earlier, Alex was saying there's certain toys that men can get. Do you have your own?
Yes, but not sexual toys. I got other kinds of toys.
Got on now.
No.
Here,
I got my Ken doll, right? So.
All right.
Ken doll.
Ken doll.
All right, man. Barbies
and Ken dolls.
Here, I do ask this though. There are options for men, right? That can't that want to get off. And there's also a myriad of options for women, whether it be like dildos, vibrators. Do you think that's okay?
Well, here, let me bounce it to Alex real quick. Okay.
Want me to go?
No, well, let me ask you this, right? And then you can expand on your own thought. But would you be okay with your girlfriend?
Exactly. That's what I was getting at.
Would you be okay with your girlfriend having, first of all, a dildo? Because there's a lot of relationships in which like they like to spice it up, so they like to use toys such as dildos. Hopefully,
Vibrators or whatever exotic things they have.
yeah. Hopefully, we don't get demonetized with this talk,
I
but
don't think so.
please, YouTube, don't.
You got 18 plus.
Yeah.
I doubt it. Yeah.
But yeah, the question was, would you be okay with your girlfriend using a dildo or some other toy?
That's a good question. Personally, I think like if they need to have that, like, you know, you ain't good enough, man, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's unfortunate, you know, but you're gonna have to move on, man, because if they need that still and they got you, like, what's the point of having you, right?
Dude, here's the tough part, at least sexually. If a woman does get like a toy like that, they can pick whatever size, whatever shape, and if they're used to that, eventually they're gonna be like, you don't compare it to what I have at home. I mean, that's just what I think.
So you're saying they're gonna start getting used to that toy, and they ain't gonna need you no more, right?
I don't think that. I mean, I think plenty of women still seek out, like human contact. I think it's more about pair bonding that people seek out. But even then, I think that's kind of under attack too. Pair bonding. This is my take on it. You guys can go ahead and disagree, but I feel that with the feminist movement and the sexual liberation, people are getting around more often, and it's becoming more and more difficult to pair bond with someone and to feel a real connection with someone. So there's not as many like long-lasting relationships now.
For those that don't know, Juan, can you explain what a parabond is?
Well, pair bonding, so essentially what it is, let's say you have a physical or emotional connection with someone, and you turn into a sex relationship, you bond with that person on a more intimate level. And I've heard these stories, these horror stories of these say prostitutes, right? Where they go on like tirades, or not tirades, but like, they get ran through, they get all used up, and by the end of it, they're kind of like, I can't find me a man because, for one, I don't have any emotional connection to them because I just have been, with so many men. That
Wait, who gets run through?
I'm saying I've heard stories about certain prostitutes that feel that after like, hey,
Wait, you're saying
when they get pushed out of the market or whatnot.
You're saying prostitutes get ran through?
Yeah. What do you think?
Wow, that's a really rude way to put it. Here you go.
Here, man. I'm very, very blunt about it. Maybe I could say more gracefully, but after they have X amount of experiences, is that better?
Yeah.
They lose that feeling of intimacy. Like, hey, that this is a job. This is just an act I do. That it's not a way that I connect with someone.
Mm-hmm.
So, whereas someone else would seek that out, but hey, now we're like, closer because of that act, because we share that, privately, just between you and myself.
Mm-hmm.
Since it becomes so common, they lose that affection, and that they can't connect with someone physically in that fashion.
Yeah.
So you're saying the more you get around, the less you make a connection? Is that what you're trying to say on that?
I think some people, yeah. It just becomes like, hey, I just want to get off. I just want to get off and move on. Like, oh, I guess I don't like you. I don't feel the same way about you anymore now that we're done. I've heard some guys do that too. They have that post-nut clarity. And they get enthralled by a woman, and they're kind of like, oh, we did the act, all right, cool. I guess I don't like you because I don't feel the same way anymore.
Yeah, man, like post-nut clarity, we could do like a whole other episode on that. That's a whole topic. We got we're in this No Nut November. Hope you guys are doing well.
I'm doing No Shave November.
Okay, so I guess
I'm exempt.
You're exempt.
I'm exempt.
Okay, Juan. I don't know how many times. Okay, I'm not even gonna repeat it anymore. I always say it. But yeah, how's your No Nut November going?
Hanging in there strong.
All 10 days.
Good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, well, longer than that, but yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, right now it's like the 10th of November, so so far so good.
So far, so good, man.
Yeah, but
it gets hard from here, literally.
Yeah, but back to the topic of sex robots, man. Like, I've also got questions about the development of these robots. Like what are their specs? You know, what are their features? You know,
Here's what I have heard. I've heard that they can you can program to speak certain things, and I was like, that can get kind of creepy. So I'm like,
I thought you were gonna say that could get kind of kinky.
I thought he was into it. Yeah.
nah, I'm good, man.
Okay.
I'm satisfied with what I have.
Okay.
My wife.
Just like it was meant to be. I agree 100%, man. But you know what? It's 2022, so I do find it a little bit of funny or interesting or I don't know how you want to say it, but yeah, like just curiosity. No, not curiosity to try it, just curiosity to know, like what has 2022 brought us, or 2023 almost. Like what are these sex robots? What are these infamous sex robots? You know, like you said, you can program them. Like in my mind, that's like something completely normal. Like you could like program like a stuffed animal to say certain things. You know?
Oh, here, I got you. Here, I wonder if it think it's so advanced. Have you seen Machina, Deus Ex Machina?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's gonna get that advanced, you know?
Yeah.
Where these robots, they're not even just called sex robots, they're just called robots, you know, or animatronics, whatever you want to call them, right?
Yeah.
They get so advanced to the point where you can't distinguish between whether or not they're a real person. That's the whole plot, right? That his goal of that guy in the movie Deus Ex Machina was that he wanted to create a robot such that you couldn't tell whether it was a robot or a person. It reached actual sentience.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be insane. You think we're moving towards there?
I think there will be a point eventually. I don't know. I mean, I think it might be within the next 20 to 30 years. I think it's completely possible. Like at the rate of development of like new technology right now, like it seems plausible for something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm curious. Like, have you seen Ex Machina?
Oh man, this movie.
Dude,
awesome.
it's a trip.
Dude, that movie like totally correlates with like some of the, you know, this topic that we're talking about today, which is sex robots. I mean, it's not completely like one-to-one, because the movie was more about one of the guys who won like a contest, right?
From what I know, he worked at the company of which the CEO was making his technology. So he won. For some reason, he won a contest where he's like, "Oh yeah, you did the best this year or something." So he was sent off to a private island where the CEO was at, and he had a robot there. And at that place, he was exposed to, "Hey, we have a robot here. We want you to talk to it, and the point of this experiment is for you, as someone talking to it, to not know a difference whether it's human or not, human or a robot." It wasn't so much as like saying like, "Hey, is this a robot? Tell me." It's like, no, you know it's a robot. Now I want to see if I can convince you that it's human.
So let me see. Okay, so basically, let me try to explain a little bit more to you, because the movie is quite intricate. That's why it's kind of interesting. Well, it's really interesting because as far as I can remember, like Juan said, is this guy that he wins a contest, so he gets chosen to come in, and I forgot what his role was for that company. So he arrives to this house, and within that house, I forgot what his role was.
He was a programmer or something like that.
He was a programmer?
Yeah, programmer, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what he might have been doing. But while he was at this house, the CEO of the company who was making these robots, right? So the winner of the contest came to that island, and so he was at that island, and he was, I think he was programming. So while he was there, he met a robot. You know, it's like AI, artificial intelligence. And so this woman was trying to convince him. Well, first she tried to make him fall in love with her.
Yeah.
And then
One of the things.
yeah, so imagine that, dude. An AI robot was so advanced that it tried to make this human fall in love with her. And but there's a whole lot of like plot, you know, like twists within the plot, because it's, I think she was also trying to get him to let her out of the compound or out of the island. Like she wanted to run away.
No spoilers. You say that much, but don't to the end. If y'all watch it, watch it. I really recommend it. It's an interesting movie.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that because I might have given away too much. But if you haven't seen it by now, you should have watched
check
it,
it out, it's good.
and you should watch
Sounds
it.
good.
But yeah,
Here-
back to the
Here,
topic.
the reason I mention it is this, like,
Oh, go ahead.
when turning back to sex robots, right? When it came to computers, scientists needed stronger and stronger computers, right? They found that they needed a market to be able to build these computers because otherwise government funding or whatever funding they had was so difficult to come by. So they actually got all these strong computers via gamers. There was a huge demand for better and better graphics. So that allowed for for companies to build these better, stronger computers, which then helped out researchers because they needed strong computers to compute more difficult algorithms and different mathematics. In the same fashion, if this becomes a market, who's to say that it can't lead to, let's say, like sentient AI? I'm going off a tangent here, maybe I'm cuckoo, but it's different. It's a thought.
So you're saying it can evolve from just a regular robot to like you can't distinguish if it's a human or not?
I don't know,
Like the
man.
movie?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I bring up like, hey, are we going that way? You fall in love with the robot, and you don't even know, or you know, but then you get so immersed in it.
I mean, people fall in love with somebody on their phone all the time, man. So what's the difference now?
Your hope is someone on the other line. I don't know.
Isn't that the same thing when you fall in love with someone on your phone? Like you hope for someone on the other line? Like I mean, you don't know who's behind there, behind the phone. What do you think, Nemo?
In regards to
Oh, in regards to do you think it'll go from just sex robots to like sentient AI? Like, do you think it will evolve as the market demands?
yeah, well, right now I think what is going on is they're developing the technologies kind of in two separate lanes mostly, where like they're developing technologies for artificial intelligence that don't have to have a robot. They can just be like programs, you know. Like, I mean, it's been a while since we've had robots that are able to be the best chess champion, and this other games that are like really difficult. And it's been at least 10 years, probably more than 15 years that we've already had robots like smart enough to beat the smartest players, you know. So they're developing those technologies separate, which is that technology, which is artificial intelligence, which is like technology for a computer to learn on its own. That's part of artificial intelligence. They're developing that, and they're developing robotics kind of separately because, like all these things, they're extremely difficult.
Bring them together.
Yes, eventually, yes, they are going to bring them together. But you know, right now, like we got Alexa. That I couldn't tell you if it's actually artificial. I can't tell you if it's artificial intelligence, but it could be like.
Did you follow with it?
Huh?
Did you already follow with it?
You know what? Okay, funny story. Okay, it's not really.
There we go. He did. It's a yes.
Yes.
No, just my cousin.
Your cousin fell in love.
Like this past summer, I went to go visit my family, and my cousin.
This summer at band camp. Here we go.
Yeah, that's all.
No, it's really simple. Like my cousin has an Echo, and I always thought it was like kind of like pointless and boring or whatever. It's just a program, you know, and you can just speak to it instead of like typing. So what's the difference? But it's kind of funny, you know. Like I saw my cousin like enjoying it. Like you would tell her like, Alexa, fart.
Hey, what?
Yeah, yeah. You guys will hear it on the. You know, we'll add an effect to it.
That's ridiculous. Here, final thoughts, guys. What do you guys think? Is this an issue? Should women be worried about it? What do you guys think?
I'll go first.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Women should not be worried about it because if all you bring to a relationship is sex, that relationship ain't gonna last. The technology will grow as the demand for it comes with it. Like right now, people got their pocket pussies, but eventually, bro, they're gonna get tired of that shit. They're gonna want the next thing, and sex robots is the next thing.
I think it speaks to more on a different. something different. I think it speaks more about an issue with people that they can't or don't want to have human contact if this is like an avenue they want to pursue or a secret way to get off. And in the same way, people are, both men and women, are, say, they can't engage in the same fashion anymore because technology, let's say through dating apps, has made the market so volatile and so difficult for mostly men to find someone. Because I think from what I've heard, when it comes to these dating apps, men swipe like the right way. That right? I don't know anymore. I don't know those things. Like 60% of the time. And
Yeah, it's right swipe, left swipe. You know, left swipe means you don't like. Right swipe means you like.
As opposed to women swipe right about like 10% of the time.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So the hottest guys get like the biggest pool of women.
Mhm.
So I think it speaks to the bigger issue for selectivity and male loneliness. But I don't think it's cool.
Dude, that's kind of starting to sound like, you know, like when fishermen go out to sea, and I used to think like, man, like how dumb are fish, you know? Like they're all just like swimming together, and like all the fishermen do is like throw a net out there, and all of a sudden you got like hundreds of fish. Well, I guess we're no smarter than fish.
There we are.
Yeah, that's just that. But yeah, I mean, before I give my closing opinion on the subject, I guess let's get yours first.
I just did.
Oh,
That was my opinion. That was my opinion.
all right, my bad, I missed it. So what I think, like I said earlier, I don't think it's a problem right now. Yeah, I don't think girls should be worried about that. What I do see as a problem is, I mean, I hope it doesn't hinder like human connection, because I think that's the most important thing. So I hope if we do get to the point that we have advanced robots, which I think we will, I hope we use it for other things that are not sexually. Honestly, I would think it would be so cool to just have like a servant robot that follows you around, and like you can tell her like bring me a beer or something, you know. That would be really cool.
To be freaking the menial tasks for you.
Nah, I already see where he's going with it. A serving robot.
A servant.
You wanna fuck it?
That doubles.
No, bro.
You
wanna fuck
that doubles that.
Dude, I just said no. That's called a sex robot. I said I hope we put robots to
A
use.
servant.
Why not both?
Why not both?
No, because like I
Combined.
said, you know, like human connection is the most important thing. Like you don't want to connect. Yeah, you don't want to connect with a robot. But that's what I think of that. I don't think women should worry. You'll be fine.
Alright, sounds good. Some hot takes. Alright, so here, next topic, guys. So you guys hear about this Norwegian man who claims to identify as a disabled woman. So this guy, I got his name here. It's a little difficult for me to read the name. Yoda Victoria Onia. Well, he went on Good Morning Today, right? Good Morning Norway, rather. And he said that he's always felt like he needs his wheelchair to function in society in the same fashion that he does feel like being a woman is for him or her. They. So I have it here. He says, I quote, "This is the same way that I experienced being a woman in a man's body, having a wheelchair, feeling disabled, being a paraplegic." What do you guys think about that?
So you're saying that the only way he feels like a normal person is for him to be in a wheelchair?
That's how he feels he should have been born, as a paraplegic.
I think that's an unfair one.
How so?
Because there's people who are disabled and want to be able, and they can't. And this fool is able, but wants to be disabled. You don't see the problem here, Juan?
It's a whole new form of ableism, dude. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna traumatize. I'm able-bodied, and I'm gonna pretend like I should be able-bodied. I mean, if he truly believes this, there has to be some kind of mental issue there.
But are they just gonna let him get away with this? Like, hey, yeah, it's okay. You can pretend to be disabled. That's cool.
I mean, Good Morning Norway really shone light on it, saying, hey, I don't know. To tell you the truth, I personally believe it should be allowed. I mean, because there's all these things designed to help people who are disabled. Let's say they got these ramps, they got these elevators, they got these special.
The fast pass.
Yeah.
Amusement park.
You're telling me that this person can be able to just go on the fast pass? Like, you know
he's
what?
gonna get in front of you in the line.
Just because he identifies
Just because he identifies
as a disabled person. Dude, it's completely unfair. Can I do it too?
Do you feel like you're a disabled person?
Well, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And I can choose to feel like it when I want to.
Nah, you gotta commit it. You either disabled or nah.
I don't know, Doug. Some people say they're gender fluid. Maybe I can just be able fluid. Dude, it's freaking ridiculous.
Wait, so does that mean we like? Are we going open? Are we going like all the way? Like, can we all like pick what we want to be now? Like, is this it? Are
Dude,
we there? Are we there yet?
Dude, I think we might get there soon, and that speaks to a whole societal thing, man. Right?
Oh, I would love that.
I mean, at what point do we say like, hey, how far from reality can we dissociate ourselves?
Well, man, I mean, I know what you mean with reality and stuff, but you know, I've kind of had dreams for a while.
About?
You know, like
There we go.
I don't know, like, you know, like, don't you ever, like, you know, like, you're just having one of those days where you, like, you feel like being something else, you know? Like, maybe a liger. You guys ever heard of a liger?
Yeah.
Like-
So how would you get in tune with your inner liger?
Well, maybe the first step in transitioning to a liger would be, like, become a furry. Right?
Here, I got a trippy thing for you. I've seen this. You guys know Matt Walsh's?
Yeah.
So he had this documentary, right? Called "What Is a Woman?" He's on Daily Wire. He's very contentious right now, especially in the left crowd. And he spoke to this woman in the documentary, right, who claims to be part wolf.
Whoa.
And he asks her, "How did you figure out that you were part wolf, right? That you were, identifying as a wolf?" And she said, "Well, I remember being a kid and watching this anime about wolves. And at that point, I was like, dear Jeebus, like, you can just watch anime as a kid and pretend like, you know what, I am a wolf. Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to wolves and be a wolf."
So, from watching that anime,
She decided,
that's like, yo,
I identify with
I'm a
those
wolf
wolves.
now.
I'm a wolf.
I'm a wolf now.
Exactly, dude.
No, man, this man.
I mean, you can figuratively be a wolf, like, yeah, I'm part of a wolf tribe or a clan, like that, figuratively, but in reality, you can't be a wolf. You can't be disabled and get special treatment.
Well, what the heck, guys? Come on, like, please, can we pick what we want to be, please?
We can, but I'm not gonna pretend with you.
Dude, come on, bro. I've been wanting to be the Super Saiyan since I was like 5, 7, whatever.
And you know what? I'll be Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can be Super Saiyan 1, I'll be Super Saiyan 2. So
Uh,
I'll be stronger.
yeah, I haven't really decided. Well, look, I haven't really decided on which Super Saiyan I want to be, but if I'm gonna pick, I'm gonna be a Super Saiyan. So I don't know. I'll see how I feel. I'll let
Yeah.
you guys know on the next episode.
You're gonna dye your hair? You gonna bleach your hair?
It depends. Maybe I feel like being a Super Saiyan without bleaching my hair. You know, I don't know.
No. To define a feature, you gotta have yellow hair to be Super Saiyan.
Yellow
Green
hair.
contacts.
Green contacts, yes.
Okay. I don't
As
know.
defined by Akira Toriyama. That's his name.
Akira Toriyama
Akira Toriyama, yeah.
is this like the maker of Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
me, I identify as One Punch Man. I mean, I'm basically there.
Oh, you identify as One Punch Man?
I'm basically there.
Alright, I dig that, Alright, what do you identify as, Alex?
I mean, we can pick whatever we want, right?
I
Whatever
mean,
you want.
I don't know, like earlier you were just saying that,
Within
you
certain
know,
within
that
certain
you,
limits.
you were just saying you had an issue with people who identify as other things.
I have an issue with someone identifying themselves as disabled when they're not disabled.
So they can identify themselves as anything else except disabled. right?
Yeah, because that's fucked up, bro. Like, imagine you lost your legs,
Mm,
all right? And then you see somebody in a wheelchair.
you got a good point.
And you're kind of like, oh, that's
And
nice
it's
too.
like, oh, yeah, he's like me. He's disabled, you know?
And
And then you
then
see that fool get up off his chair and just, oh, I gotta go use the restroom.
And get back on his chair.
Get back on his chair,
And
bro.
pretend again.
Pretend like he's fucking disabled. That's the part where I'm like, yeah. That's,
I propose something,
all right, here you go.
right? Since you're over here like making kind of like ideas about like who can and or what you can or can't identify as, why don't we make like a quick list, and then maybe like next episode we'll continue our list and then we'll post it.
I'll have
We're gonna have as a podcast, we're gonna have official guidelines of what can and what can't you identify as.
Here, I'll make my list right now.
Okay.
You can identify as anything that you physically are, and anything that you have achieved. Like I can't say.
Wait, you
I
can't or you can't?
Can.
You
Like
can't.
I can't say I'm a black belt because I'm not. I can pretend,
Uh,
but I'm gonna get whooped pretty quickly when a black belt's like, "Hey, you a black belt? Let's go." And be like, "You're not a black belt."
so you can't identify as something that someone else would have to work hard for in real life, or something that is like kind of like a disability, like
Yeah,
such as a blind. You can identify as yourself. As a,
Well, I mean,
Even blind, because look here,
Hey,
I find that
I didn't even think about
there
that.
are all these social programs, right, that do help out people who are disabled, and you're basically saying, hey, you know what? Just because you feel that way, you get special treatment too.
okay, let me see.
Not special, but accommodations.
that's accommodations. Everybody wants to
Whether
be accommodated.
whether it be government funded or not,
Mm.
that's even worse if it is government funded because then you're pulling from the pool of people who put into national security, into taxes, and those funds are being allocated to you who identify as disabled in some fashion. That's unjust. Beep.
Wait. Sorry. Can you condense that again or repeat it one more time?
Yeah. So, if I identify as blind, there's certain programs in place by the government that accommodate me.
Okay.
And that's tax dollars for someone that are going to me now.
Okay, so in one more rules, because dude, we could be the beginning of something,
I
the
don't want
beginning
to.
of everything, right? Okay, so what if we set rules in place of like, for example, right? Does you identify as something give you rights to what that identity is? For example, if I identify as a plant, do I get the rights that plants get, which is none? Actually, do plants get any rights?
I know they get some people who don't want to get chopped down.
Okay, well, like, okay, in the case of like, like people with disability, so you're saying people that identify as someone with a disability, they cannot gain those
Those
rights.
perks or those accommodations, I would say no. And the same fashion of this, I think we're just pussyfooting around the real the conversation that's at hand,
You're right.
That can someone who identifies as the opposite sex genuinely be taken seriously as the opposite sex just because they say it and don't have anything altered on them?
Man, I'm gonna let Nemo take this one.
Well, look, first of all, I don't think that is the main question because it is I'm sorry, maybe it is the main question, but it is not the only question, right? Because right now, most of the people who identify as something, it is people who identify as like male or female, right? When they identify as something that they were not born in regards to their sex. But we do still have that other side of people who start to identify as other things that are not sexual. So it's not only about man and woman, It's not about the man and woman sex. It is about many things.
I think it's more about reality for me.
Oh.
Like in reality, what are you? As opposed to who are you? Because you can be a whoever you want, but whatever you are, you can't tell the world, hey, we have to see you just the way that I want to be seen.
Well, I'm sorry, Juan, but if you're talking about reality, then reality we will talk about because we just had a transgender person who sees themselves as male and who has transitioned to male. A male who transitioned to female.
Yeah.
And that has such weight in society now that person just had an interview with the president one. So that is reality, dude. So you're saying these people don't live in reality? Bro, they're playing We're playing chess. They're playing 3D chess.
3D?
This is what I'm telling you. You think you're living in reality? That person just met with the president.
Yeah. I know they did.
So what is your reality? Now you have to consider what our social reality is, like what is happening in our society that is now part of our reality. People that think they are something is becoming a thing. That is our reality. I know it's kind. I know it's. Yeah, I know it's kind of a mind, but.
Oh yeah, I agree. It hurts that it's being promoted to fashion that if you just claim it, you are it. There's nothing earned. There's nothing you have to do. Just merely speaking it into existence is that powerful.
Yeah, I want to get your like your feelings or your thoughts on like what do you, because you already expressed that you don't think it's fair that people that have disabilities should be able to, I mean that don't have disabilities, people that don't have disabilities, you think they should not be able to identify as disabled.
Yeah. Dude, like I said,
But is that your only cutoff, or is it okay if people identify as something else, such as furry?
let's be real, bro. Like, you should, live in reality. Let's stop fucking playing these mind games and shit. Like, if you're,
What is reality?
that's the fucked up thing, right? What is reality? Reality is, man, you were, born with whatever you were born with, and so far as I can tell, if you were born with a penis, you're a dude. You're born with a vagina, you're a chick, right? But nowadays, you could just be whatever you want, man. But in reality, if you got a penis, you a dude. You got a vagina, you a girl, right?
What do you say when there are people that have both? Vagina?
Oh, that's a
and
hermaphrodite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the wild card. You lost me there.
You lost me there.
I do believe that. I do believe there's something about gender dysphoria, in which you feel like you're born in the wrong gendered body. I do believe something about that, and a lot of the time, what happens is there's a lot of trauma behind that. Let's say when they were younger. I'm not saying it's a situation in every case, but it tends to be that there's trauma buried somewhere. And those people need to be helped. And at the same time, people who are hermaphroditic, like they have both male and female genitalia, those are the exception, not quite the rule, you get me? So you do have a binary. It says, okay, there's this and there's that. There's male, there's female. There's exceptions, but the exceptions only prove the rule in saying that, hey, the general population is one or the other. The other ones are outliers. Not to say they're to be diminished in value, but they're different in that way.
Okay, so
Let's close it up though, yeah?
alright.
The final thoughts.
Let's close it up. My final thoughts is, I do agree that that person went a little too far, claiming to be someone with disability, but I think that person may have done it to try to illustrate like how dumb in a way I guess it is for people that are born male to identify as female, or for females to identify as male. I think that's what they were trying to do.
It was a hoax.
Not a hoax. I think they were trying to like make it look silly. Make those people that I just mentioned look silly. That's what he was trying to do.
Okay.
I sincerely hope that's what he was trying to do, because if he really believes in his heart that he's a disabled man, that is sad for himself, and that is cruel to the people that have that disability and other disabilities. That is just messed up.
I'm on the same boat. Yeah, I feel like it's tough for the people who really are disabled, and they have someone out there saying, "I feel the way you do," when in reality they can't experience what that person who can't walk has to experience every single day. It's not an option for them. They're going through it. It's like, this is what happens. This is what happens to some people. They either get some kind of trauma, they're born that way, and you can't just belittle them by saying, "I feel like you do right now." And if you can, I mean, I want special perks.
I know that was anyway. Yep.
How about you, Alex?
Like I said, man, identify as what you are. Male, female, or hermaphrodite.
Somewhere between. All right, so here, last topic of the day, guys. So, Elon Musk, again, Twitter, right? I mean, he seems to be doing more and more things for this company, especially that he's kind of taking over now, taking it private. So he rolled out this plan where he's having people have the option to purchase a blue check mark. If you guys know what that is, essentially it verifies that you're a user, a verified user. And his plan for this is that he's trying to get bot accounts out of Twitter to have more actual, genuine interaction amongst people. And he believes that in this effort, by charging $8 a month for this blue check mark, that people who are posing all these bot accounts will eventually, get out of the market, because if they're paying $8 per account, that can add up pretty quickly a month.
Yeah.
So that being said, you guys think this plan will work?
You want me to go first, Alex?
Go for it.
Yeah, okay.
Hit it.
I think this plan will work at $8 an account. Imagine, all right, let's put it. Let's imagine, yeah, a calculator. For a 100 accounts, so it would be $800.
8 times 12. What's that, like $80?
I'm
86
not
bucks a month?
I'm not gonna lie, man. I think it's a little cheap. I know it sounds expensive.
Yeah.
I know
Here.
it sounds
Here,
expensive.
look, that's $96 a month per account times 100 accounts. That'd be easily $9,600 dollars.
Wait a minute, $8 a month?
Yeah, a month.
Oh, I'm
Not
sorry,
just
I
one
missed
time.
that.
You thought it was a
Oh,
one.
month.
You thought it was a one-time payment.
I thought it was a one-time payment.
Nah,
A
bro,
month.
It's a month.
That's why he wants to push the bots out by making it so expensive for someone who's running X amount of bot accounts.
Well, that's interesting, because then I think the business model is going to be geared very much towards people who are trying to make some type of income or publicity through Twitter, because what casual is just gonna pay $8 a month for no reason?
Oh, here, I got you, wife. Here, I forgot to mention. So, with these blue checkmark accounts, you do get certain perks. Like you can upload videos that are about 15 minutes long, like longer videos. So there's definite incentives to get the $8 a month incentive. Because you could be on it, right? You could be on it, and not pay anything.
Mm-hmm.
But you won't have that, blue check mark saying verified user.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an incentive as of now. And since they're moving more towards an advertising platform, they're going to be more and more dependent on ads. So like you said, people who are using Twitter to make a dollar, they're incentivized to get more reach through the blue check mark, because the blue check mark historically has been something that gives you like credibility, like, oh yeah, like he's a real dude, good guy, he has pull.
Well, let me ask you this, Alex. Do you think the blue check marks have any value?
As a casual person,
Yeah. Do you value a blue check mark in your social media?
dude, I don't even get on Twitter, but if I knew you had a blue check mark, I'd be like, oh shit, look at you. It makes it look like you're bigger than the normal person because you have that check mark.
But why? But where did you get that idea from? Or like, do you know why you have that perception?
It's just, that's probably because that's how Twitter, I mean, like I said, I've never been on Twitter, but I kind of know the rules, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're verified, you got a check mark. If you're not verified, you're just a regular person. It's like
Random.
You could be a bot, as what they're saying. You could be, catfishing, right? Or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
what if that account that I'm talking to on Twitter isn't my favorite YouTuber? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
who am I talking to? Who am I sending money to? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But if you see that blue check mark,
Mm.
it makes it easier to be like, to open up to that person, or
Oh, okay.
that's what I think.
So more trustworthy.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm just a casual person that doesn't even know about Twitter. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's my take on it. What would you say about it?
Well, I mean, let's start off with the fact that like the reason why I'm not even, we talked about this on one of the last episodes where you guys asked me if I was on Twitter, and I said no, I'm not on Twitter.
Are you now?
I am not yet on Twitter, and let me tell you why. The reason why is because all this time I've logged onto Twitter. You know what? I actually have an account.
Do you
I have an
know
account.
he was on there?
I have an account. I just remembered I have an account.
All right.
This account is pretty old. I made this like 4 years back or whatever, but I never used it. You know why? Because to me, Twitter just felt soulless. Like it felt like I didn't know what was going on. I felt lost. I would log in and I felt lost. I felt like it wasn't for me. It just felt like a soulless thing. Like I didn't know if there was actual people on there or just the president and a bunch of just random stuff. That's why I mean that's why I say that it felt soulless. Like as opposed to like these other platforms, they feel more like there's stuff going on. Like there's actual people there commenting. You know. I don't know, they feel less spammy, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's what it is. If you have something you want to interject, go ahead, because I had a question for Alex.
You shoot your question, man. Shoot.
Okay, my question was, because the blue check mark on Instagram, it's like a sign of, how would you say it, like, of importance, of value. If you have a blue check mark, it means like you are somebody important. This is what it means on Instagram.
On Instagram.
On Instagram.
I didn't even know Instagram.
Were you aware of this?
I had no idea Instagram had the check marks too. I had no idea.
Oh, on Instagram?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Wait a minute. So you guys didn't know about the blue check mark on Instagram?
No.
All right. So
I'm
then,
not on that way.
so let me explain this to you guys, right? So I mean, I wish I would have had a blue check mark. A blue check mark means you are a person. Not anybody could get a like. Most people cannot get a blue check mark. You do not get a blue check mark by paying. You do not get a blue check mark by asking for it on Instagram. The only way I think you get a blue check mark on Instagram is you have to request it, and they do like background check on you, not as far as your criminal record, but just who you are. For example, they might do a Google search and see if your name comes up, right? And like, so they're trying to see who you are. Like, are you an artist? Are you an athlete? Are you?
Dang, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're prominent.
Yeah, you gotta be prominent. So this is what the blue check mark means on Instagram, right? So that's why like this is a parallel between like Instagram and now Twitter. So now Instagram has that blue check mark. That means a lot. It means a huge amount, right? If you have a blue check mark, people will automatically assume. I mean, people that live on the Instagram world, they will assume if you have a blue check mark that you are somebody really, 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 really important.
Damn.
Right.
Now, same deal on Twitter.
Well, that's
not so much anymore though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to get to. That now on Twitter, this blue check mark, like, what does it mean? I know it means legitimacy. It means you are the real thing, more likely than not. It means you're a real person, right? But I'm trying to figure out if, like, where are we at? You know, I thought you guys knew about the blue check mark in Instagram. But now, so like I told you guys about the blue check mark on Instagram, but now we got Twitter blue check mark, right?
Yeah. Well, it's been there.
Yeah.
They've had blue check marks in the past.
Yeah.
But now
It's just that it's expanded now to a wider audience if you want to pay for it.
So like, is that gonna devalue the worth of a blue check mark?
Yeah, and people like I said do have the check mark right now are concerned about that. Like, hey, I had to build a reputation to have that blue check mark or pay X amount of money on your hand to have that check mark. You're telling me that it's the same thing as everybody else have?
Yes, sir. By the way, if you got something to say, go for it.
It kind of devalues the, knowing that you could just pay $8 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be a geek about this, guys. You guys ever play Yu-Gi-Oh?
Never,
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 once.
never.
So here, right?
Hey, what's Yu-Gi-Oh? I've never heard of this.
For you guys who don't play, every once in a while they release new cards, right?
Mm.
And then sometimes in that new set of cards, they reprint older cards that are worth quite a bit of money sometimes.
They do that now?
And they devalue those older cards that were released that were really good.
Mm.
Those reprints. Is that what's going on here with Twitter?
That's
They have blue check marks, and now they're devaluing the blue check marks by being able to purchase, blue check marks.
Yeah.
It's exactly what's happening. The original blue check marks don't feel as valuable anymore because now you can get cheaper blue check marks by
That do the
paying-
same thing.
That do the same thing. So yeah, it's like the parallel is there.
Well, look, I suggest or I think that this would be a great idea, and they might do it. According to me, what if they give a blue check mark for legitimacy purposes, like Elon is doing, and then he like makes some other type of mark for celebrities.
I think they are working on that actually, because
That would be the only way.
if you do purchase a blue check mark, it will signify that hey, this person is a blue check mark person through the blue program, as opposed to someone who has it inherently because of whatever process they went through to get that check mark. Crazy, right? We're talking about a check mark.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, those blue check. You know what it symbolizes now, right? These blue check marks. Like this blue check mark represents you in on the net, on the web. It represents that you are you. Now, I think that is a master play by Elon Musk because of the fact that I think all these other accounts, like they become very spammy and they become very like you don't know if it's really somebody you're talking to or not. You can kind of tell, but I think these blue check marks are gonna like raise the value of Twitter so much because it's gonna put it's like this is gonna be a platform where
You're
when you're
interacting
on
with
it,
someone.
yeah, you're interacting with somebody, which is what he was trying to do, which is make a town square, right?
Yeah.
So and people wanna interact with people, right? So I think it's gonna make it very prominent. It's gonna make Twitter very prominent, and I wouldn't be surprised if it catapults to like the #1 social media platform because of the value of these blue check marks.
Yeah.
It's insane.
The final thoughts.
Something so simple. I mean, I'm sorry. Those are my final thoughts, man. Like, I think it's like very impressive what he's doing. It's just just a willingness to innovate because there's a lot of companies out there who they're very happy, just doing the same old thing and kind of they're raking in the money so they don't really care. But since Elon Musk is taking over, he has to do these things to become competitive with the other platforms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to say, man, you hit it square in the head there. He's doing so much innovation, and he's receiving quite a bit of pushback. But I think as long as he keeps on that path towards doing something just and purposeful in helping people, not just trying to raise some cash. I mean, that's part of it. It's a company. But I think in seeking the good for people, that he's going to bring a wealth of value to Twitter.
I think he should have put the price a little bit lower, bro. Like instead of going for $8 off the bat, he should have went like $4. I think he would have got more people with it if it was $4, and then in a year from now or 2 years from now, $5 and another $6, and then eventually you get to that $8 because $8 is a big commitment a month, but $4 ain't that big, $4 ain't shit, but he went up to 8, so respect for the going for 8, but I think if he would have dropped it down to 4, he would have been solid and got everybody on board. But since it's at 8, he's only gonna have the hardcore Twitter fans and the content creators, YouTubers, Twitch, OnlyFans girls too, I guess. Or boys. Yeah. All the people who do work on the internet are gonna use Twitter to get more views on their selves. You know what I'm saying?
I feel it. I feel
That's
it.
my final thoughts. He should have put out $4 and he would have been set.
All right, hell yeah. Well, you know what? I think we're set, man. Get the hell out of here.
Wait,
I think
wait,
we're
my- My last question for Alex and all the viewers, you can leave your answer down in the comments. Would you feel left out if all your friends all of a sudden have a blue check mark and you're kind of like, you don't want to pay for it, but all your friends are on it, they're all interacting, they're all chatting, and you're like, man, would you do it?
I would do it probably for the first month, and that's probably it.
It's like, when you were a kid, everyone's on Xbox, and you got a PS3, and you're kind of like, damn, I should have Xbox. All my friends have Xbox.
Yeah. Maybe I feel like for the first month, like, oh, maybe I'll try it out. Maybe, 2 months is cool. But by the third month, man, if nobody's still on it, yeah, I'm going to just unsubscribe and, call it a night.
Yep, sounds like life, man. People will say, oh yeah, we're gonna play online. Play for 5 days, never get back on. I'm like, damn, I forgot about this game for no damn reason. Happened to me twice, I got burned.
It
All right,
happens.
Yeah, anyway guys, let's close this thing out. So
Alright, guys.
thank you for showing up. Leave a like, subscribe, and let us know what you think in the comments. Till next time.